Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Marcus Aurelius, listen. It's before dawn on the Danube frontier. The air bites like iron. The canvas walls of the emperor's tent breathe in and out with the wind. A lamp trembles. Somewhere outside, a boot scuffs frost. A sentry clears his throat. A crow argues with the dark. Inside, a man sits alone. Not on a throne, on a simple stool. He rubs warmth into his hands and opens a small notebook. He isn't writing speeches for the Senate. He isn't writing for history. He is writing for one person only, himself. Meditations. A private journal, never meant for us. A place where a ruler of the known world tested his own soul before the world could test it for him. He takes a steady breath. Soldiers are waking. The plague has been stalking the roads again. Reports from the river are bleak. The tribes are restless. The treasury is thinner than memory. The emperor will have to decide, and decide soon. He could ask the dawn for an easier day, but he won't. He writes a line to himself. Do your duty. Be kind. Hold fast. He closes his eyes and lets the cold speak. This is life. This exact moment. Do not argue with it. Meet it. I'm not telling you this as a history lesson. I'm telling you this because you and I also wake to cold mornings. Not the Danube's frost, maybe a screen's glow. An inbox like a marching army. News that feels like weather you can't change. The sense that there are fires somewhere, and you should know which one to run toward. Our world pulls us by the sleeve. It says, react now. It says, fear now. It says, compare, scroll, defend, perform. The Stoics, Marcus most of all, offer a different first move. Don't push the river, pilot the helm. Divide the world into two clean halves, what's yours to steer, and what is water and wind. The universe is not a problem you solve by shouting at it. It's a sea you cross by steering the small boat that is you. Marcus Aurelius ruled from 161 to 180 CE, and he did it under heavy skies. War on the frontiers, famine, a plague that blackened lungs and emptied streets. He could have drowned in the role or escaped into pleasure, but he chose a quieter, harder task, to govern himself first, to be a man of duty, restraint, and mercy, especially when no one was watching. He believed simply that nature has given each of us a part to play. Trees grow, rivers run, people practice virtue. This was not poetry to him, it was instruction. A tree doesn't negotiate with gravity, it reaches. You don't negotiate with distraction, you return. You don't debate what a good person should be for hours online. You stand up and be one for the next 5 minutes. Return. Stand up. Be one. That's the first curiosity I want to light in you. What happens if, for one ordinary day, you refuse to argue with reality and instead act in tune with it? Marcus would have called this living in accordance with nature. Not nature as trees only, but nature as order the way things work. There will be pain. There will be joy. There will be people who harm and people who heal. You can't choose the weather, but you can choose your posture under it. He writes to himself again and again. It's not things that trouble us, but our judgments about things. He trains his eye to see what is in his control. His thoughts, his choices, his attention. Everything else? Wind and water. Imagine him now stepping out of the tent. The cold grabs his face. He nods to a soldier whose lips are blue from the night watch. There is no speech, just a shared breath in the dark. He chooses where he will put his mind, not on what he fears, but on what he can do, one duty, one kindness, one clear decision. This is how a man solves the universe. Not by bending it to his will, but by mastering the square foot of earth under his feet. If that sounds small, remember this. An empire is governed by moments, not monuments. A life is shaped by mornings. And you? Your empire might be a desk, A classroom, a truck cab, a hospital corridor, a bedroom floor scattered with toys and promises. You have your own frontiers, the meeting that makes your stomach tighten, the habit that keeps pocketing your time, the timeline that keeps stealing your peace. The Stoic move is gentle, almost invisible. You choose your first thought. You choose your first act. You let the noise pass like geese, and you keep your hands on the oar. Marcus called pleasure and pain externals. Not evil, not sacred, just weather. He warned himself not to be owned by what he owned. He counted death not as a terror, but as a teacher. It's coming, which makes now precious. A person who remembers they will die forgets to waste time. He wrote these reminders not to impress anyone, but because he needed them. We all do. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Marcus. So if your thoughts are stained each morning with comparison, the soul wears that dye all day. If your thoughts are stained with gratitude and resolve, you carry that color into every room. Let me tell you a quick rumor the past left us. In the middle of everything wars to the north, a plague that wouldn't loosen its grip, betrayals at the edges, Marcus kept a simple ritual. He rose, he breathed, and he counted his privileges. To be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love. Not to erase hardship, but to remember his powers. Then he acted. He organized sanitation, funded aid, kept judgment fair, showed mercy where he could, and discipline where he must. He didn't wait for a perfect plan. He didn't wait for feelings to become favorable. He moved. Waste no more time arguing. You know the rest. This is the intimate secret of Stoicism. It's not loud. It's not a roar. It's a posture. It's choosing the narrow, honest path moment after moment until the path becomes you. Maybe today your mind is a tent at the frontier. The wind is testing the ropes. Good. Tie them. Pick one thing that's yours to do and do it cleanly. Make the call you've been ducking. Close the tab that keeps stealing your attention. Say the kinder version of the sentence. Drink water. Move your body. Open the small notebook of your day and write one line you can live. We'll go further. We'll step deeper into the emperor's morning and into our own, how he handled betrayal without hardening, how he turned chaos into practice, how he kept his soul undyed by bitterness in a world that offered it by the barrel. But for now, hold this picture. A ruler in a cold tent, setting his mind before the world can set it for him. Pause 3 slow breaths. When the sun finally breaks the ridge and strikes the river, it looks like a sheet of hammered bronze. Boots start to march. Orders are issued. A swallow cuts the air like a stitch. And the emperor, no different from you, in the most important way, chooses his first thought. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Marcus Aurelius. The sun has risen now. The camp is alive. You can smell smoke from the cook fires. Hear the clang of metal as soldiers strap on armor. But something darker has arrived with the morning. A messenger pushes through the rows of tents. His sandals strike the frozen ground, each step sharper than the last. He kneels before the emperor and delivers the news. A trusted general has betrayed the legion. Supplies are gone, morale broken. A piece of the empire's backbone has snapped overnight. Imagine that moment. You rule millions of souls. You are at war. And a man you depended on, someone you believed in, has turned against you. The air thickens. The soldiers wait for your eyes, your reaction, your fury. But Marcus doesn't leap up. He doesn't let the first fire burn him. He listens. He breathes. He remembers. It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. The betrayal is real, but the storm it brings inside him is optional. This is the test, not the war itself, not even the traitor. The true test is whether he lets anger, grief, and despair take the helm of his mind. The test is whether he becomes a slave to reaction or remains a master of his reason. And here's the truth. You and I face the same test every day, just scaled differently. Maybe not in war camps, but in offices, classrooms, kitchens, or hospital rooms. Someone disappoints us. Someone breaks a promise. Someone we counted on turns away. Our first impulse is always fire rage, sorrow, self-pity. But Marcus reminds us that fire only burns us. We can step back. We can choose the space between the wound and the scar. You are not what happens. You are how you meet what happens. Think of how often we hand our peace over to others. A rude comment on the street, a delay in traffic, a post online that scratches our pride. Each time we give away the only thing we truly own, our judgment. Epictetus said it plainly. When you are offended at any man's fault, turn to yourself and study your own failings. Then you will forget your anger. Marcus practiced this discipline in moments that would have crushed most of us. Imagine being emperor and yet reminding yourself, even if the world betrays me, I will not betray my own soul. Even if the man beside me collapses, I will stand. That is the Stoic posture. Not coldness, but strength. Not indifference, but sovereignty. Let me bring this closer. Picture the betrayal in your life that still stings. The friend who left. The partner who lied. The family member who said words that cut deep. That story is heavy in you, isn't it? It presses on your chest at night. Now imagine setting it down, not erasing it, not pretending it never happened, but letting go of the judgment that says, this must destroy me. Imagine saying instead, this is pain, yes, but it is not me. I remain. My mind remains. This is not weakness. This is not letting them get away with it. This is freedom. Because when you are unshaken, you remain untouchable. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus. When Marcus heard of the betrayal that morning, he didn't curse the gods. He didn't punish the messenger. He didn't let bitterness eat him. He began to plan, calmly, firmly. He adjusted his strategy, recentered his soldiers, and reminded himself, if this man could not remain faithful, then he has acted according to his nature. My task is to act according to mine. And what is our nature? To be reasonable, patient, disciplined, compassionate. To live in accordance with virtue, no matter what storms around us. This is the second curiosity I want to place in you. What if every betrayal, every disappointment, is not a curse, but a classroom? What if every wound is not the end of your peace, but the beginning of your training? The Stoics called life a series of exercises. The universe is not against you. It is sculpting you. Each hardship is a chisel. Each loss a stroke of the hammer. If you can endure without bitterness, if you can meet betrayal with clarity instead of chaos, you become unbreakable. Think of your own life like that. Each test is not proof of weakness, but a chance to build the fortress inside. Every insult is another brick. Every failure is more mortar. And slowly, as the seasons pass, you rise into a citadel of calm that no storm can level. The soldiers outside Marcus's tent did not need an emperor who could rage. They needed one who could stand. And the people in your life, the children watching you, the colleagues depending on you, the strangers you brush past in silence, need the same. Not perfection, not brilliance, just presence, just steadiness. So, when you feel the sting of betrayal, remember, the pain is not in the event. The pain is in your judgment. And you hold the key to unlock it. Tomorrow, someone will test you. Maybe today. They will lie or fail or break or cut. Will you hand them your peace? Or will you hold it, quietly, firmly, as Marcus did? Because if you can pass this test, you begin to solve the same riddle he solved. The universe cannot break a mind that refuses to bow to anything but truth. No man is free who is not master of himself. Epictetus. Night has fallen again on the Danube frontier. The air is sharp, carrying the smell of wet earth and ash. The camp is quiet now, tents glow faintly with lamplight, but the sounds of marching and training have faded. Only the occasional cough or whispered prayer drifts across the dark. Inside the emperor's tent, Marcus sits once more with his small leather notebook. The weight of betrayal is still there. The war is not over. The plague has not lifted. The empire has not become easier to rule. But the man himself, he is calm, because by this point in his life, Marcus has built something invisible, something no soldier or general or even fate itself can touch. A fortress within. This is the Stoic way. Build walls where no enemy can climb. Not around your city, not around your wealth, around your soul, around your mind. Most of us spend our lives guarding the wrong gates. We guard our money. We guard our reputation. We guard our comfort. And yet, when insult comes, when loss knocks, when death whispers, all those gates fall open like paper doors. The Stoics ask a harder question. Why not guard the only thing that can never be replaced, your reason, your character, your mind? Marcus writes to himself, the mind adapts and converts to its own purposes the obstacle to our acting. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. He isn't speaking in riddles. He's training himself. If you lose wealth, gain wisdom. If you lose a friend, gain resilience. If you face pain, gain patience. Every obstacle is raw material. The fortress is built stone by stone from the very hardships that threaten to destroy you. The obstacle is the way. Think about your own walls. Do they protect the right thing? If someone insults you today, does it shatter your peace for hours? If you fail at a task, does it poison your self-worth? If someone else succeeds, do you crumble in comparison? Each of those is a gate left unguarded. Each of those is an invitation for the world to storm your soul. And Marcus whispers across centuries, close those gates, guard your mind. No one can enter unless you open. Modern life is full of invaders' notifications that split our focus, advertisements that feed our desires, comparisons that gnaw at our worth. Each one scratches at the gate of your mind, begging entry, and most of us, we let them in. We hand over the keys without a fight. But what if you stopped? What if today you built even a single stone of that inner fortress? What if, when the urge to scroll seized you, you paused and said, no, this is my gate, and I will guard it? What if, when someone provoked you, you breathed and said, your words stop at the wall. They will not enter. That is freedom. That is what Epictetus meant. No man is free who is not master of himself. Marcus Aurelius lived in a world of chaos, plague, treachery, war, but within himself he carried peace. Because he learned that the universe can batter your body, strip your wealth, even take your life. But it cannot take your mind unless you surrender it. And here's the third curiosity I leave with you tonight. What if you stopped living like a tenant in your own mind and started ruling it like an emperor? This doesn't mean being cold or stone. Marcus loved deeply. He mourned when his children died. He forgave often. He felt the sting of life, but he never let those feelings own him. He walked with them as companions, not as masters. Your fortress, too, will not make you unfeeling. It will make you steady. It will let you love more freely, because you will no longer love from fear. It will let you work more calmly, because your worth won't hinge on outcome. It will let you suffer more nobly, because you will know pain cannot reach the center of who you are. So tonight, as the emperor closes his notebook and the campfire burns low, he is not untroubled, but he is unbroken. He has built walls that no storm can breach. And you? You can begin tonight, with one thought guarded, one reaction mastered, one stone placed. The fortress is not built in a day. But each day, each choice, each guarded thought, it grows. And one morning, you'll wake to find that nothing the world hurls at you can pierce the walls you have built. Think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now, take what's left and live it properly. Marcus Aurelius, the camp wakes again. A new day has come. The same frost clings to the grass. The same war waits beyond the river. The same burdens sit on the emperor's shoulders. But something has shifted. Not in the world, but in the man. Marcus understood something we often forget. Every day is borrowed. Every sunrise is a gift already slipping from your hands. And the Stoics urged us over and over to remember our mortality, not to frighten us, but to sharpen us. Memento mori. Remember, you will die. It sounds harsh, but really, it's the gentlest of reminders. Because if you remember that your time is short, you no longer waste it. You no longer postpone the good life for some distant future. You no longer wait for the right moment. You live. You do the work. You speak the kindness. You practice the virtue today. Think of your own mornings. How often do we roll out of bed, already bent beneath the weight of tasks, fears, distractions? How often do we rush into the day without once pausing to ask, what kind of soul will I bring into the world today? Marcus began his days with that pause. His meditations are proof. Before the Senate, before the soldiers, before the empire, he wrote. He reminded himself, people will annoy me today. Pain will visit me today. Death may find me today. But none of these can touch my reason unless I let them. That is how he solved the universe, not by conquering it, not by controlling it, but by mastering himself within it. And so, let me leave you with one small step, a single practice, simple but profound. Tomorrow morning, before you touch your phone, before you let the noise of the world crash in pause, take a breath. Write down one line for yourself, not a to-do list, not a plan. A reminder, something like, today I will not be owned by anger. Today I will not hand away my peace. Today I will remember I am mortal and live accordingly. That is your fortress stone. That is your emperor's notebook. That is your way of stepping into the world not as a slave to it, but as a master of your own soul. Do not wait. Do not argue. As Marcus wrote, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. And so, dear listener, carry this with you. The world is vast, chaotic, uncertain. But the square foot of earth beneath your feet, your mind, your soul, your choices, that is yours. Guard it. Shape it. Live it. For in doing so, you too begin to solve the universe. You are not small. You are sovereign. Thank you for walking through these moments with me. If this message stirred something in you, I invite you to let it ripple outward. Like share, leave a thought in the comments. It helps this message find others who may need it tonight. And remember, when the cold mornings come, when the betrayals cut, when the world pounds at your gates, you already hold the key. Be kind, be steady, be free. Marcus Aurelius, the man who solved the universe. Thank you for watching.